Hello, thank you for stopping by to watch my YouTube video. My name is Erica and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here on the west coast of Canada, and my business name is From Me to You Paper-Crafts. And tonight I'm going to show you an easel card. I got this as a swap. This is what I love about participating in swaps, is that you get lots of card ideas from other demonstrators. So this is an actual easel card. I love easel cards because it gives you an opportunity to showcase, you know, a scene or a design that you've made, and perhaps a greeting or an element at the bottom, and you prop it up. Now this person actually made a full card, so there is an inside and an outside, but I'm going to simplify this for you tonight and just make a simple easel without an inside of the card. So your card base is actually formed from a single a quarter sheet of an 8.5 by 11. So I have taken this Night of Navy, so this is 4 1/4 by 5.5. And then I have a piece of DSP on here that I've already glued on top as my background. Now, as I do usually, all of my cutting and scoring measurements are in my blog, and the blog is associated with the YouTube video. So I don't put all the instructions on how to make the card because I'm hoping that you'll actually watch the video. So once you've got all your pieces cut and worked out, and you've decided on your design, then you can come and watch the video and see how I do it. So we have 2 pieces of Night of Navy that pretty well measure the same. One becomes the easel part. You see the easel here. So I'm going to show you how to score that. And then the other one becomes the front panel of your card. So, so now that I've got my card base ready, I want to show you basically the design I'm going to create. So I have a piece of Whisper White here that's already pre-cut, and I'm going to create a bit of a background, and then I'm going to emboss it. So I'm going to use basic black, and I'm going to create, they have these lovely little birds in the distance. So I'm going to just float some birds in the sky like that. Then there's a large sailboat and a smaller sailboat. So I'm going to stamp the smaller sailboat in the distance. Like so. And then my plan is to cut this out with the coordinating die and place that on the front. So now that I've got some basic images on there, what I want to do is I want to throw these into the High Seas embossing folder. Now, just to let you know, this is a complete suite in our annual catalog. And so you can find that in there or go online, and it is called Sailing Home. And it came with quite a few products. It came with a designer series paper, and it came with some embellishments and framelets, or what we now refer to as dies, and some other things. So it's an entire suite of products that you can use to coordinate and make lots of different projects. So here are the framelets. I'm sorry, they're kind of coming off my sticky pad here. But look, there's this adorable, I call it a steering wheel, but I'm sure that's not what it's called on a sailboat. It's got a lighthouse, an anchor. It's got this really cute little knot that you can put on your card, which I might put on my card. I'm not sure yet. Okay, it's got some seaweed. Anyway, it's got it's a rope. It's got a rope die. So some really cute elements that you can do lots of things with. So the first thing I'm going to do, now that I've got my background image, I'm going to take this High Seas embossing folder, and I'm going to my embossing machine, and I'm going to emboss this and come right back. Now, perhaps this step I should have done before I embossed it, but I'm going to try doing it now. I'm going to take some Balmy Blue ink. It might give it some added texture, and I'm going to use this brush, and I'm going to ink up. Let me just get a piece of scrap paper here. I'm going to ink, and I'm going to sponge, is the technique we call it, this background, and let's see, you know, how it turns out. It shouldn't make too much of a difference whether you do it before or afterwards, I wouldn't think, because I want some lovely blue sky and blue water, of course. Actually, as it's turning out, I like that the ink is sticking to the waves, which give them definition. So I might want some darker sky here. So you just have to keep applying ink to get the color that you want. So this is looking like a combination of waves and perhaps some clouds in the sky, if we stretch our imagination. I'll try and make it a little bit darker at the bottom here. Okay, I like that look. I'm happy with that. So that's going to be mounted on top of this piece here. Now, let's see, I need to now stamp, and I had a scrap piece of white here somewhere. Here we go. So I'm going to stamp now the larger sailboat onto this Whisper White piece. And I'm going to add a bit of color. This is mostly monochromatic in blues and whites, but I'm going to add a bit of color to this sailboat. I'm going to add a dash of red along the sides of the boat. So I'm going to pull out my real red Stampin' Blends, give it a bit of color. That's all I want on that boat. And let's find the coordinating framelit. Here we go. Here's the boat. And I'll go and cut that out from the big shot. There we go. There's our boat. So we'll add this on the water as well. Now for now I don't think it needs anything else. I'm going to leave it like that. So let's get some Tombow glue. When I have an embossed piece of paper, I like to use Tombow as my glue choice versus the snail, because it's hard to go over the bumps with snail. So let's place this on here. This type of a card is a nice card because the recipient can display it, you know, and not have it, you know, fall over. They could even display it on their desk if they wanted to. So that's kind of a cool thing. And I won't put this on yet because I want to put dimensionals on there. But I have to mount it onto the easel first. So we'll leave that step for now, but I will get my glue dot or my dimensionals on here to get it ready. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to bring out, I have a mini scoreboard here that I'm going to use just because it's really convenient for this small piece of cardstock. Okay, so you want to score this. This measures 4 1/4 in length. So on the long side, you want to score this in half. So this will be at 2 1/8. You're going to score it in half at 2 1/8. And then you're going to score it at 1/2 inch from one end. Okay, so you have 2 score lines like that. So you're going to fold it in half, and then you're going to fold it back on itself, like that. So it's going to go on the card. You're going to actually be mounting it on the card like this. Okay, so on this half here, you're going to put on the front panel. Now so you're going to be placing this on here like that. So I like to use Tombow because it gives me time to sort of slide it into place, you know, and tap it down because it's going edge to edge here. So I'm going to put my Tombow on this piece here. And you just need a little bit of Tombow. So now I can just, you know, pick it up, put it on, and tap it into place. Like that. Actually, that's folded. Yeah, that's correct. Okay? So how this goes on, it's going to go on like this, and you're only going to stick down that 1/2 inch piece at the end so that you can lift it up. Okay, you don't want to glue down this piece, you only want to glue down that piece at the top, and you can lie it flat. So I'm just going to run a bit of Tombow glue on this fold here. Like that, and then I'm going to position it on my card. So I'll put it closer to the top, I think, than the bottom, and make sure it's straight, and just hold it down for a few seconds. Oh look, my fingernail polish matches the blues. I did not do that intentionally for this card. Okay, so now the easel is going to lift up like this, and you can make it pop up, you know, as high or as low as you want. And so if you look on this card, they actually had a strip of cardstock with another strip of Whisper White with the greeting on there, and there's we don't call them pop dots, sorry, dimensionals on the back, because you need that to be higher so that you can place the easel and hold it up like that. So what I decided to do was I decided to do this greeting, set sail in the direction of your dreams. And I also, because it has this really cute little label framelit, and so I also cut out from that same framelit a piece of Night of Navy. And what I want to do, excuse me, is I want to cut this in half. I'm sure you've seen this trick before. I'm going to cut this in half. And again, I'm going to use Tombow, and I'm going to, oh, there's a lot of little extra pieces of white coming off here from the die cut. And I'm going to, oh geez, look at that. And I'm going to put this on here like that. So I'm going to take my Tombow again and just to put a little bit like that. There goes my lid. And I'm going to just position that like that. See, Tombow gives you wiggle time. You gotta love that. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other side. Now, watch when you're using dies. You want, and they've got stitching on them. You want to make sure that you have the right side up, because sometimes they leave a rough edge on the back. So make sure you check to see which side is up. And I'll put this one on this side. Alright, so I have this, my little greeting ready, and I want to grab some more dimensionals for that. Put one here and one here and one here and one here. And then I can decide where I want this. I think I will center that. Okay, so see, that stands quite nicely with that simple label. Okay. So now I can take my other sailboat on dimensionals and I will place it on here like that. And I think I'm going to add some Wink of Stella to the sails. I love using Wink of Stella. It just adds a very fine glimmer on your project. Because I think my sails are going to glisten in the sun. There we go. So once you've cut your cardstock, it's a pretty simple card to make. So I hope you go and make one, and I think your recipient will be very pleased. Now, if you wanted to, you could mount a piece of Whisper White on the back. You would want 4 by 5¼ inches, and then you could write a greeting on the back, and you could add a few more stamped images if you wanted. Or you can just simply create a little easel for them to display on their desk or somewhere else in their home. So I hope you enjoyed that card. I've enjoyed being here with you. You can always contact me via my website, From Me to You Paper Crafts, with any questions that you have. And I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator if you don't have one yet, if you live anywhere in Canada. And if you live in Victoria, you always have that opportunity to join my team of gals. Girls addicted to loving stamps. So thanks so much, and have a wonderful evening. Thanks. Bye for now.